gents? Welcome to TSG Uncut. I am your host, Sean C. And in tonight's episode, we are going to talk about, is it possible? Can older men and older women make it work in relationships? Now, if you're a younger person watching this now or pre-recorded, you might think that this topic has nothing to do with you. And I can't begin to tell you how wrong you are, because in a number of years, you're going to get older and you're going to be maybe not in the same position as older men and older women have it today. You might find yourself in a much worse situation. So I wanted to have this discussion because of something that I saw. It was I think it was on what's the name of that thing? Reddit or something like that. Or it was a post or something I saw that made me inspired to talk about tonight's subject. And the thing about it is that it was just a question. It was a question on, you know what it was? It was about something that was on the internet, and somebody said something about, well, that's Gen Z for you. And it's not just a Gen Z problem. Gen Z is going to have to go through a lot of stuff, but even Generation X, being that we have been taught by late Gen Xers and, late boomers and early Gen Xers, we still have issues. So thinking that this topic has nothing to do with you might be a mistake. All right. So in tonight's video, we are going to look at a number of video clips this evening. I do not have any comments of the day, and I do not have memes of the day. We're going to get through these videos as expeditious as possible so that we can talk about this here on the other side. But we will do shout outs and comments after I get through the initial talks, and because I want to see who's going to be up in here. And the question of the night, is it too late for older women and older men in relationships? Is this thing done? So I have a number of clips that I'm going to present right now. Like I said, we're going to start off with two clips. They're really quick clips that I want to get this topic started about, right? Because we hear all the time that there's no good men out there, that, men saying that, hey, it's hard to date in the United States. Women are saying it too. So I want to bring this up. So before, let's bring that up. Let me know if y'all can hear that in the chat. Hit a 1 in the chat if you can hear this.
Let me tell y'all something. This dating in the 40s, whoo, Lord Jesus. Almost made me call my ex-husband back. And I know like hell to the now. I ain't trying to go back there. Come on, universe. There's got to be some great men somewhere.
See, already she's saying, look, I don't want to go back to my ex, but hey, there, thank you very much, bosses of Tik. I'm going to bring up the next video clip because they're going to set the tone real quick for what we're talking about.
So I went out last night and had drinks with my friend, and we were talking about dating as girls do. She says, friend, you need to get out on a date. You need to get outside. I said, you're right. I know. I'm not going to meet the man of my dreams on my couch. She says, right. Absolutely, friend. And to that I simply replied, but my couch is so comfortable.
Now, listen, I thought it was important to bring up those two clips specifically because you heard the first woman talking about where the men at, I don't want to talk to my ex, so where are these men at? And then you had another woman contrasting that, saying that her friend said, look, you're not going to meet nobody if you just sitting at home and you ain't doing nothing, okay? And that's the thing. You have women who say, where are the good men at? And these are the same women that will come out of their mouth and say, well, I just like to stay home. How many of you guys have heard that? I know I have. Like, I've heard women say, well, I'd rather just be at home. I don't like being out like that. Or, I don't want to put myself out like that. If you're a good woman, you can't find a good man, but you stand at your house, how's anybody going to meet you? You're obviously not meeting them at work. You're not being open, friendly, and everything when you're in the store or, places that you might see men. So this is an issue. First of all, we're just talking about the basics. How can a man and how can a woman that want to find somebody meet each other? Okay. So I wanted to start off with that. But we're going to be talking about a number of different things tonight, right? We're going to be talking about some of the issues that older women are going with. We're going to actually hear perspectives of older women talking about what they're going through and perspective. Now, normally I save this segment for when we get more people in here, but I want to bring this up. Thank you, um, Bosses of Talk or Bosses of Talk. Sorry if I got that wrong. Older men don't really want older women because as a man, you are forced to better yourself in life. And as a woman, you aren't. You aren't. So older women usually are stuck in their ways. Well, I can agree with that. I can feel that. I definitely feel that, and what you're saying is what I say all the time on this channel. That as a man, we have to build ourselves up to this person. And now in today's modern society, it seems even harder, right? Like it's not enough that you go out and you work your job, you go out every day, you know, you're not late to work, you're a productive member, you're doing what you need to do, right? Everything that society told us as men that we need to do, right? You could have your own place, you could be doing your own thing, and it's not enough because these women pretty much expect you to be the top, you know, 5% earner in the country, 2% earner in the country. And that's just not a realistic standard for most men. And men shouldn't have to be held to that standard. As long as that man, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to all that, okay? But thank you for that comment because, but you also talked about, sorry, one last thing. You also talked about how older women are usually stuck in their ways. That's actually the thing I'm going to push on just a little bit because what I've heard from women is that men get stuck in their ways. And we do. We tend to want things the way we want it, how we want it. Well, we see that from both men and women today. And we're going to talk about that more as we get into this topic because I think that's important. I think that's something important to realize that both older men and older women, as you get to a certain age, I was told a long time ago that age was after about 30-ish that you finally get set in your ways. Now, looking back, yes, it was probably about my 30s where I started having certain expectations of people that I'm with based on, hey, I've done these things in life. I've, you know, dedicated myself to this amount of discipline, et cetera, et cetera. And for a woman to come in and then try to change all the things that I've used in my life that have worked and helped me be successful, that's a little hard to back off on. But on the flip side, right, as men, we can get stuck in our ways and we cannot be so open to the things that we might need to work on and do in our relationships, which is why I talk about men working on themselves and their purpose on this channel. Let's get to the next video clip because this woman is going to say something pretty interesting. This woman is talking about, you can tell she's a little older. There's some, look like some, I ain't going to say it, maybe there is some gray. I see some gray or something. Maybe I'm tripping, but she's a little bit older, right? She's in her 30s, I believe, right? And she's talking about, I'm so tired of people judging people for their past mistakes. Let's hear what she got to say.
I am so tired of people judging people for their past mistakes or their past versions of themselves. You are constantly growing and evolving and changing, and that is the beauty of life. The you that existed 3 days ago is no longer existing. You are now changing and growing, and you've learned lessons in those 3 days. So this version of you right now is the authentic version of you. So please stop judging people on things that they may have done in the past, because that version of them no longer exists. Also, sometimes we make the same mistake multiple times because we need to learn that lesson multiple times. There's nothing wrong with you. It's all part of being human.
Now, let me turn this light back on. Now, that woman talked about, listen, this is what I talk about on this channel, about women giving advice. Some of these women giving advice or talking about things on TikTok or social media about the advice that they give. And I'm not saying that she's wrong. What I'm saying is that when these women tend to give this type of advice and stuff like that, on the surface, it sounds good and there's some truth to it. But then you have to understand what she doesn't get And she's talking in generality. So when you're talking about what we look at as men, for any women that might be watching this now or pre-recorded, you got to understand that we as men, again, have to build ourselves up into the man that we need to be. And you have a lot of women that we see and that we've observed that have gone through life, especially in their early years, going without necessarily not necessarily having to build themselves, but basically launching themselves just upon their looks. And so when we look at this and hear this type of advice as men, we look at it and say, well, yes, it is possible to change and we do grow. We know that as men because that's what's expected of us. But when you have women who have these long passes where they're riding the carousel, where they, pretty much live their 20s without wanting to be accountable for what's going on and why they might have had some of these relationships, then we look at it and say, this is cap. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of cap, right? Because what we see is you can say that version of a person has changed. But what we're seeing with modern women today is that when they're ready to settle down, regardless of their past, then they expect men to change. Men that have had to battle through the system to become the men that they are. Now that they've hit their 30s and their looks may not be generating or garnering the attention that they want, now they want a man to change. They even want men to change who are doing the right thing, right? We're seeing women leave men who they've been with, married to, and this, that, and the third, just because they're bored. Just because I don't feel the same. I'm not tangly anymore. I'm not tangly, right? None of that, okay? And so when we hear that, especially men who have put in the work and have done the time, and we hear women talking about, well, I'm not that same version, this, that, and the third. We need to know about your past because a woman's past tells a man everything. Well, I can say everything, but it tells a man a lot about what he could potentially expect in the future. All right. If you are a woman and your past has been riding a carousel, pretty much going from this guy to this man hurt you. Well, you're mad at men. You were mad at men at one point because these men hurt you. And now you found the light on looking for a good guy. That tells us as men a lot about you. That tells us about how far we want to go forward with you. Because that has a lot to do on how you're going to treat us in the future, how you're going to use us in the future. See what I'm saying? I'll read some of y'all comments, man. I'm going to get to them in a second, all right? Let me make sure I don't have to go to the next video first, all right? I'm going to set up the next video. All right? Uh-oh, 1 second. I need to take my ringer off. There we go. All right? So I want to get to your comments real quick. I'm going to do some shout outs and do some comments real quick before we get to the next video. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Shout out to you, Boss of Talk, right? Preston, what up, my dude? He said, what up, Sean, big homie? I'm good, man. Real good, man. I'm doing good. Boss of Talk says, men usually are setting a pattern of things that work. A woman can be taken care of so they can have a little bit more of a diluted perspective of facts of life. And that's the part that I agree with you with, right? So he's absolutely correct. We have to follow patterns that are going to work to sustain us. See, as a man, if we don't work, we don't eat. As a man, if we're not doing the things that we're not supposed to be doing, then life is going to kick us in the ass because nobody looks out for men. Nobody has that unconditional love for a man other than maybe his kids and maybe his mom, right? Everybody else, women that we come across in life, we have to earn that love and respect. And even when we try to earn it, it's not enough. Like he said, and I said earlier too, you have some women who will go through their younger life getting by on their looks, never having to be accountable for their actions while using their looks, especially Now, when we're talking about the younger generation, that's why I said that this topic has a lot to do with each and every one of us. That a lot of younger women today are living this consequence-free lifestyle. And then again, just like every other woman, they start to get 30, 35, 40. And now that things are starting to hit them, then it's up on the man to basically change who he is. And that's tough for a lot of men because it don't make a lot of sense, right? Again, we have to work on, as Boss of the Talk says, we have to work on patterns that we know that work in our lives that are going to make us successful. Because if we're not, we're going to be on our ass. Nobody cares, right? Rando Ganja. She can miss me with that nonsense. Oh, Rando Ganja, thank you very much for that one. The Sandvan, thank you so much. Oh, look like you guys have changed your logo. Hey, I like the shout out to the Sandvan. Make sure you go check out their channel. They bring us on their adventures, living down in the down under. Loving the videos of them doing the remodel of their van. If you're into van life and into that type of travel lifestyle, you will definitely love this channel. They're an awesome couple, and I am glad to consider them friends. Thank you all for stopping in today. Preston says, thank you for the advice you gave me. Seriously, thank you, brother. No problem. No problem, bro. I'm always here for my brothers, man. I always want to work out. Everything is good, though. Everything is good, all right? Preston says, as far as that chick goes, she can go pound sand and lose his land. And there's Preston with the rhymes. That's the problem. Women need to change. A lot of these women jump from relationship to relationship. Listen, again, there are women that jump from relationship to relationship. There are men that jump from relationship to relationship. Listen, I'm bringing that up for a reason. We all can learn and change. And so that's the part I agree with the last woman. But the difference is when we look at what we're hearing from modern women today, they're jumping from relationship to relationship, and they're not forced to have to look on what did they do wrong. It's always, right? Have you ever talked to a woman, right? You're getting to know them and stuff, and that question comes up. Y'all know the question that comes up, right? The question is, what happened in your last relationship that caused y'all to break up? And I'm not saying men don't say this either, but you get to that question. And a lot of the women that I've talked to that I've had to ask this question to, they usually somehow talk about how that dude didn't do this, do that, and the third, And I've gotten to the point in life where when that question gets asked of me, I actually try to take accountability and responsibility for my part in what happened. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what the other person did, I, at the end of the day, have to look at that situation and say, how could I have seen those signs? What could I have done better? Because I'm trying to improve. Like when I am ready to actually settle down with a person, I want to make sure that I'm completely ready to be with them. And part of that is having to take accountability for what went wrong in the last relationship, right? And so I hear a lot of women, when you ask them that question, the thing about it is, it's always this guy didn't do this, didn't do that, right? Not, hey, I could have seen this, I should have chose better, this, that, and the third, all right? So that's just something that I've noticed. I'm not saying that's for all people. I'm just letting y'all know, okay? Byron Parker, thank you for being here. Appreciate your work and content as always. Byron, thank you so much for being here. I couldn't do it without you guys. And I definitely appreciate the support. I got a couple more videos coming out this week, you guys. If I don't get one out tomorrow, for sure I'll have one out Friday. But my next two videos are going to be pretty good. I'm going to have another video with a conversation with my friend Janine, who helped me to review a few videos. So you will be seeing those videos recurring. I want to do those like every Friday. But the one that I want to do for tomorrow, oh my God, man, off the chain with what's out there right now. Okay. I just have to title it right. I already have I haven't even made the thumbnail yet for it, but I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss that video. Okay, so I'm gonna try to put it out tomorrow, which means I got a lot of work to do tonight. Of course, these people don't want to change. So what else is new? Welcome to Delusional City Capital. The advice you gave me really helped me a lot. Oh, absolutely, man. Anytime. Okay. So let's get to this next video. Okay. Let's see what this woman has to say here. Now, I think this woman, let me remove this real quick. I think this woman is from another country, just so y'all know. Uh-oh, that didn't work. Sorry about that, you guys.
Some of you westernized women, I don't need a man. I don't want a man. I can pay my own bills. I make my own money. I'm independent. I'm an alpha woman. Turn it down. What happened to the feminism? The queen, the wifey, what happened to it? But when you reach your knockout stage at 30, 35, with 2-3 kids later, then you want a man? Ladies, wake up.
Now, listen, I can't say that she is entirely wrong on the premise of what she's talking about. And this goes to what Bosses of Talk talked about earlier, right? Where now that the woman is done with her 20s, going after her career, chasing after the wrong dudes, now she's getting ready to change. She turns 30, 35. She has kids and stuff, but now she's expecting you to want to settle down because she's ready to settle down, because her clock is ticking, because she is starting to feel Mother Nature, if you will, tugging at her, right? She's starting to feel that pressure. Men don't necessarily feel that pressure at 30, 35 like a woman does. The pressure that we feel as men in our 30s is this our career building years. Now we're sitting here thinking, oh my God, like now I got, I need to really either advance my career or I need to be thinking about starting to step up to that next level in my career. Or if you hadn't started your career at that point, you hit 30, you need to be thinking about starting a career, man, because you only have so much time to get that done. And so the way what we need as men and women are different when it comes to what's going to make us feel better. For women, it's, being able to start that family before it's too late, while that clock is ticking, while those eggs are still fertile, right? And us as men are thinking about, hey, I need to be able to build up my career and build my standing at my job such that I can start a family or I can build myself up for wealth later. So that's the one thing that men have a problem with older women, is this pressure that they feel that they want to impart on us. And it's hard for any man. Well, I'm going to say any man. A lot of men today are starting to realize that women are waiting until they are ready, right? They've done the career thing. They've ran through the carousel. Maybe they've had some kids. And now they want to put that pressure on men. I ask you, is that fair to the man? And here's the thing. It seems to us men that a lot of y'all women just don't give a damn about what we think. Preston says these people don't know what real love is anymore. Exactly. You can thank hookup culture for it. We lost touch with what's one another. You can't love someone who doesn't love you back. And again, I brought this up on many live streams that we don't even talk about love in this society anymore. I don't hear women talk about love at all. All right. You may not expect a man to talk about love in some cases, but I for sure don't hear women talking about love. It's literally every video, and y'all gonna see that in some future videos, but every video is about, well, he's got to be this, and he's got to be that. He's got to have this, and he's got to have that. That's all I hear. You don't hear any woman talk about the other intangibles that's really important to having a successful relationship. And we're going to show that in one of the videos that I'm going to bring up. Man, my mouse has been acting up. There we go. That's one of the things I'm going to bring up in one of the videos that's going to be coming up here soon. Now, in this next video clip, we're going to hear from an older woman who is struggling to find men. And we're going to talk about it here on the other side. I'll get to you. Let me get to one more comment before we start this video. A huge problem is women being in relationships for status because she's always going to be looking for that upgrade. What incentive is that for me to wife you? Now, listen, any ladies who are watching this, before you get offended, that is a real talking point of a man there, right? And that's not the only one. A lot of men feel this way. I do these polls all the time on the channel asking these type of questions. That is a valid point by a man. How is a man going to even trust you if all he believes you to be, not necessarily you as a woman, but what he sees in general for women, is that all they're looking for is this status? And the fact that a lot of women leave relationships, and we see it in the statistics, because they think they can be better. They can do better. They think that the grass is greener. They think they're going to be happier. Where a relationship isn't about happiness, it's about that duty to that commitment that you guys are going to be together. It's not going to always be sunshine and roses. And so when men actually make that commitment, a lot of them are willing to stay. A lot of those men are willing to see it out through thick and thin, better or worse, sickness or poor, till death do us part. Women are the ones who are exiting. Women are the ones who are exiting. And what incentive is that for a man to want to marry a woman nowadays when there's the thought that she could possibly leave? Now, for you guys that are watching that are married or are in long-term relationships, you know that I am for you. But what I'm going to say is that there's an amount of work that needs to be done. There's an amount of patience that needs to be there. There's an amount of where do we see ourselves in the future? And how dedicated are we to making that happen? And that's for both men and women. All right. Again, look at any comment with anybody who's married, who's come across my channel. I've given full support to my married people and the people in long-term relationships. What I am not for is people who are middling and on the line and just getting married because they don't want to be lonely, or they think this is the gravy train or the exit off. I can't rock with that, because it's going to end at some point if that's your mindset. All right, let's get to this next video. Let's hear her story.
Well. So I thought I was going to find my soulmate tonight at the Oklahoma hotel bar. Guess what? I did not. So I sat down. There was like so many men, like probably like 50. And I was like on my laptop, like trying to look like, diligent, like, okay, doing my thing. Not one man like looked my way. And I like looked up and was like, okay, Dana, close your laptop. Like, don't look like preoccupied. They might think that you're busy and they want to approach you. And so I did that. And then I was like, like just sitting there with my glass of wine. I like probably had like 16 glasses of wine, just like trying this like theory out. Just kidding. But I had a couple. Nothing. And I like looked like open for like business, nothing. And then I was like, well, maybe there's like rings. I'm trying to like eliminate every excuse other than like, I don't want to be a victim here, but like I'm fucking not the one to be approached, because maybe it could be my looks. And yesterday, like I got more looks from guys. And I thought maybe, okay, I had straight hair yesterday. And I didn't have this like oversized like sweater, but I have on leather pants and panda dunks. I mean, come on. And I guess this is like God saying like, hey, honey, your man ain't in Oklahoma. And I knew this all along, but like, damn, rejection wound like coming in hot. But they would be getting in the way of my like takeout fried green beans and my Pamela Anderson documentary that I've been needing to finish. So thank God that I didn't get approached by any man.
That sounds like Cap to me. You know what I'm saying? Think about this, right? Like, you went there for a purpose, and had you come across the right man, you cannot tell me you want to sit there. Yeah, you want to watch a documentary just like I want to watch my Netflix shows. But if there's an opportunity to meet somebody that's going to be exciting and that you could click with and that you could talk to, you telling me she wouldn't have took that option? She went through all that story to tell you that she was trying to make herself more approachable. And then at the end of the story, you're going to say you glad you didn't meet anybody? That's just you feeling better about the rejection that you got. Now, I want to know down in the chat and in the comments, if you're looking at this pre-recorded, why do you believe that no man approached her? It's not, I'm not going to say this woman is necessarily ugly or anything like that. I don't think that. It looks like she got her lips injected, whatever, right? And then, some guys might say, well, why is she wearing a baggy shirt? Is she not in shape? This, that, and the third. I don't know. There's a number of reasons for it. Why do you think men did not approach this woman? I want to know from you guys. Let me know in the chat so we can talk about it here. But back to this point. I wanted y'all to hear this because there was another aspect that I thought was very interesting about this particular video clip. She was letting us in the inside, like letting us inside to know what was she doing to try to get men's attention. And the messed up part about it is men have been through this before, where you'll see a woman, she's sitting by herself. We really can't tell. Here's the thing, any women watching, some of us men just can't read or tell whether or not this woman is approachable. We cannot tell whether we're going to go over there and try to shoot our shot and her like, she got her glass of wine. Don't come by me. And then you said there was a lot of guys in that lobby. So you got a man who's going to go over there. He going to get himself shot down in front of a group of other men. Some men do not like that rejection. Me personally, I don't care. If I want to talk to you, I'm going to go over and talk to you. And you can shoot me down. I'll be like, you know what? All good. You have a good evening. Okay. And I go off and do my thing. I'll even go talk to another woman right in front of your face. If you didn't want to talk to me, maybe she does. You know what I mean? Just because I got rejected by her don't mean I'm scared to go talk to somebody else. But I also make myself friendly and available such that even if you do reject me, you're not going to reject me in such a way, right, that I'm going to look bad. I'm going to at least make it seem like, hey, I just came over to say something real quick. And then I walked off and started talking to other people. You know what I mean? There's ways around it. But that's what happens when you learn how to be social around people, that you learn how to get yourself out of those type of situations. But in that particular case, why do y'all think that no man approached her? I want to hear from you guys. Let's see what you guys say. Press says, sorry, dude, phone acting up. What I was trying to say is that we've lost touch with one another. People who used to care, but the only thing they care about is money. I agree with that. I'm starting to see that. Rando Ganja says they down out here. They down bad out here. Yeah, they are, man. It has nothing to do with looks. It has to do with women's attitudes toward being approached by men they don't want. And that is a huge point, right? Other than they out there bad, they out down bad, right? The other part is what we just talked about. Exactly. Men have gotten to the women have made it clear that they want to be approached by certain people. And men are tired of falling for the okie doke. Y'all know what that okie doke is? Y'all know what that okie doke is? That okie doke is if you're looking at me, it looks like you're giving me choosing signals, and then I decide I'm gonna walk over there and make myself open, and all of a sudden, now you don't want to talk to me. Now listen. I might have gotten my choosing signals wrong when I went over there to talk to you, thinking that you was interested in me. But I've also heard women on the internet say that they really just want to get approached to stroke their ego, and then they leave because they don't really want to talk to anybody. Why are you putting yourself out there in those type of situations where you're just rejecting every man just so it makes your ego feel good that you still got it? This is the reason men don't want to approach women nowadays, because for some women, this is just a game to make themselves feel better. Okay, I still got it. I'm good. That is confusing the men. So I can imagine these men in the bar was like, or in this their little bar there was at, they didn't want to take that chance. They don't want to look like fools. They don't want to feel like fools. Even if they don't look like a fool, they don't want to feel like one. Hey, I was genuinely coming to you to show you interest. And this is how you treat me? And women don't even, and some women aren't even like nice about it, right? Like, no, thank you. And I get it, women. I get it, ladies. I have female friends that tell me all the time, some dudes can't take no for an answer. And it's because some women give these mixed false signals. It's like they tell you no, but they want you to chase. And then some are like, no mean no, and some mean no, but yes. And like guys don't want to take that. We've seen too many men getting taken down for this exact reason. So men are just like, damn it, I'm here chilling for me. I ain't out here trying to holler at y'all because y'all making it tough, right? Y'all making it tough to know. Women can be really rude when rejecting men. Absolutely. And now because of social media, a lot of men don't want to be subject to that. And some women are even using these opportunities to film men in these scenarios. And like, I don't want to be posted because you're trying to show off for the gram, you're trying to show off for TikTok, you're trying to show off for whatever, that you still got it. Or you're going to show how my approach was. Not every man can just cold approach women. And I got friends that's on this YouTube space that's like, oh, cold approach don't work. Okay, maybe it doesn't, but you still need to be able to have those skills to be able to go up to people and spark conversation. The ones of us men that can, not saying it works out all the time, but it is a great skill because it says that you were open and honest and able to talk to women. And these women nowadays want you to entertain them. Have nothing to say on their own because they boring as hell, but want you to entertain them. I'm not there to entertain you. This should be an equal exchange of thoughts and ideas. Okay? Women send too many mixed signals too. Also, we never know which is genuine and which is just you seeking validation. Ladies, I want you guys to hear that type of phrase. This is the stuff that I get in the comments all the time. And this is why we have these conversations on this channel, because this happens to men all the time. All right. Then that you can't love someone who doesn't love you back. Women nowadays only see man as a human ATM machine. Also, men feel that way. They feel like women only care about what can you do for them. There is a very selfishness to this culture now that we need to address, and that a lot of women aren't being real about with themselves. Men can't trust women nowadays. It ain't about not wanting to provide and do for the women that we want in our lives. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with we can't tell the women from the snakes. We cannot. We cannot tell the poisonous snakes from the non-poisonous snakes. We cannot tell. All we see is snakes coming at us. And we're not going to sit here and try to see which one of y'all good or bad before we get bitten. I skipped one. The only people that these women want to approach them is rich gumps and simp chumps. Ah, that's a good one. I like that, Preston. And that's exactly why men don't approach women, because of lies and false accusations of their entitlement. I'm assuming you're saying. Okay, let's get to the next video clip, gents. This woman right here, I've done a video on before. She tries to make it funny, tongue in cheek, but this is something she's going to say that will make a man kind of pause. She's trying to be open and honest about it, what she's about to say, but in the long run, this is another thing that makes men back off. Check it out.
Hey, black man, I love you. You know I do. Listen.
You're already doing too much. And now I'm like, what you about to say? What you about to say?
No, women in their 40s are very honest. You know, especially when you hit like 44 like myself, I'm very honest about who I am. I'm not a liar no more. I told you I'm a recovering hot girl.
Stop right there. Hold on, let me put her up on screen. See, look, I'm not dissing this woman. I actually think her TikToks usually are generally there to inform men. Every now and then she goes in on some men. Okay, whatever. I go in on women. I try to take the media, I try to play devil's advocate on this channel sometimes just to give a different perspective. But she said something. She said, even though I used to be a liar and a recovering hot girl. Now, remember the clip that I played earlier about that woman saying that stop judging people on their past because everybody changes. Yes, everyone changes. But when I hear something like that, then I got cause for pause, okay? I got cause for pause when it comes to women like this. Okay, I'm older now, and I need to let you know something about me. And part of that is the fact that I used to be a hot girl. I used to be running these streets, right? But I'm not no more, but I was, okay? So I got to let you know, all right? Now she about to make a point. You don't want to judge women by their past. I want y'all to listen to how she about to finish off this video. What she's about to tell you if you come and approach this 44-year-old woman, okay? And I like the fact that she's on the video. You know, she don't have a bunch of makeup on. I respect that, okay? I respect that she ain't got makeup on, that she on her video. Maybe she got a little bit on, but it don't look like it. She looked pretty natural to me. But let's listen to what she say. We not supposed to judge women about their past, or as an older man, you're not supposed to have cause for pause for older women. Listen to what she about to say.
So, I do want to be married one day. I do. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm still dating. So if we're just dating, don't ask me about my sexual life, because that's not your business. Every woman in their 40 got somebody that know how to hit it just right. He know how to connect for every time. So don't ask about him. You ain't never gonna be able to compete with that. But we're not gonna be together. Okay. Stop asking about people that you can't compete with. That's not your business. Focus on us. Okay. I won't talk about him if you don't talk about him. And I ain't gonna bring him around if you around. So be blessed, but don't ask questions you can't handle the answer to.
Damn. Do not ask questions that you can't handle the answer to. You can't handle the truth. Oh, that's too funny. Check this out, gents. Listen. This woman says that she's 44 and she wants to be married one day. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. Right? I would expect nothing less for most women, your average woman, to say, I want to be married one day, or I want to be in a long-term committed relationship with one man. I kind of expect that, okay? But then she goes on to tell you that she's still dating. Believe it or not, it'd be naive. And some of you men out there are naive about this, that this woman is initially talking to you and not to expect that she may not be talking to other people. When some of you men out there might have somebody else that you talking to on the side before you get with that person. And that's okay. That part's okay. But then, this woman decided to add in the information that this dude do something for her. He just know how to do it just right. But she don't want to be with him. Don't ask about him because you can't compete with him. Did she not say that? Did she not just say, don't worry about that dude because you can't compete with him? We gonna be together, but don't worry about him because I ain't gonna be with him. See, they have that dude that make them tangle, right? That dude is lurking around. That dude is in her long DMs of numbers. And you're not supposed to worry about that? Let's just say, for instance, she likes you enough that things get serious and everything is going fine and y'all progressing through your relationship. If this is the dude that made her tango and gave her excitement, how are you as a regular dude supposed to compete with that? You might be able to compete initially because you might be able to give her that family married lifestyle that she's looking for. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to compete with all the other men and all the other exes that she's been with. And to say that that's not true is a lie. Now, you might come along and you might be better than them dudes in a lot of aspects. But if she was more excited with some dude before you, women look to their past. And women look to you and think, have I upgraded or have I not? And this is the kind of thing that we have to deal with. I want to go back to one of the comments that Preston said. The only people these women want to approach them is rich gumps and simps chumps. Right, because they get older and now they're willing to, quote unquote, settle for somebody who's going to take them in these latter years and deal with all the baggage that they have. And they want you to take them as they are, no questions asked. Is that not what y'all got from that same video? Because that's what I got from that same video. That she wants you to take her with no questions asked about this type of dude that she telling you can't compete with. If you can't compete with him, then why would you get in a race to begin with? Because at some point, it's not that particular dude. She's saying that he does this for me, but he's not settled down material, but he make me tangle. And if the marriage, and inevitably the marriage is going to slow down, it's not going to be the same as it was in the honeymoon phase. Is she going to be thinking about that dude at some point? What happens if that dude texts or call her out the blue? How is she going to feel? Is she going to think she messed up? Oh, I should have been with him? These are the things that guys think about, ladies. So before, we can't be naive as men either and think that we're not competing against some of her past. But that's why it's important to be able to go back and ask these women the questions about their past that you need to know about, because the past does matter. It really does. Let me get to your guys' comments real quick. Okay, there's the last comment. All right, she wanted to say, but so bad. Yeah. She wanted to, yeah, right. And I'll get it. She wanted to say, so bad, but so bad, like, or too bad or whatever, right? At least that's what I'm reading there. Okay. I already swiped left on her. Oh, yep, exactly, man. Preston says, even when you show love and affection, it's still not enough. And we're gonna talk about that thing I told you I was gonna bring up in a video clip. This next video clip, we're gonna get there. Old women trying to get married for the first time is rooted in disrespect and selfishness. They know full well they're about to ruin a ninja's life. That's a good one. That's a good one, Rando. She basically told dudes to run from her. Women always want you to put up with the stuff they aren't willing to. Right. So if you came to them and you start if you told a woman the exact same thing, right, that she can't compete with whatever, she might throw it on you that much harder to try to get you to feel like, hey, I'm better than what you had. That same woman will finally get you to settle down, and now that she got you, she'll realize she was chasing you to prove a point and not necessarily because of what she said she actually wants, right? That's jacked up. Do you think she would be okay with me still being friends with my homegirl, right? Who, TT or whatever? Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly my point. Would she be okay with it? I don't know if women would be. Women do not want to compete with that. If you have a roster of girls in your phone, they definitely don't want to compete with that. They want to be the only one, just like we want them to be the only one. But why would she put that out? She put that out on the internet. So if you are serious about her, oh yeah, I'm a TikTok influencer, I make my TikToks, and you start running through this library, let's say I want to be serious. Me and that woman are about the same age, right? And if I see that TikTok video, why would I get with her? I'm going to always be wondering if she believes the BS that's coming out of her mouth, right? For the record, I saw those other videos about marriage and divorce, men losing their homes, paying alimony and child support, and that's why men don't approach women anymore, staying away from marriage. Yeah. Ladies, for you ladies that are watching, that you might be curious, why are men having such a problem wanting to talk to older women? It's because older women want you to settle down, but they don't want you to realize that their past is prologue. They don't want you to realize that the things that they've been through does matter in the future of that relationship. The fact that you didn't have a dad, or that you used to hate men, or the fact that your mom, basically you saw your mom thotting around when you was younger, or that you and your mom have a contentious relationship, or that person in your family may have, or some man you with might have, been inappropriate with you to the point that you still are carrying that trauma into our relationship. These are all the things that men have to deal with because, women being emotional, those things from the past leave emotional scars. deep emotional scars on women that you as a man have to come along and try to fix or deal with that many years of being scarred. That is a tough ask of any person. Of any person. And listen, women have to deal with our emotional baggage too, but there's certain things that we can get past that women cannot, right? There are certain things that we can get past emotionally, or at least mask it for the rest of our life, that women cannot. It seeps out. Their emotional baggage is starting to bust out of the seams, and we're expected to deal with it. Run, Forrest, run. That's a good one. Now, this next video clip that I'm about to bring up to you guys now is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. You have an older woman in this next video clip with Kendra G, and she has these expectations on men that she herself cannot get fulfilled, or expectations of men that she expects you as a man to put up with. Now, there's the part at the very end of this video, she tries to make a point, but it doesn't matter, because all the words that are about to come out of her mouth is going to prove exactly why men stay away from women just like this. All right? I'm going to do one more comment. I'm going to get to the video. An older woman is going to have more baggage, so that's already a downside to dating. See, a lot of men don't want to deal with that baggage, especially if, that earlier woman said that, hey, people change. But yes, people may quote unquote change, but for women who have that emotional baggage, it is always there unless they get the work done. And a lot of women talking about putting in the work, but none of them have really done any substantial work for their deep down emotional trauma. And again, you as a man is going to have to deal with that when that shit comes out later on. Let's get to the video. Okay? I'll get to your comment again in a moment. Let me just get to the video.
All right, I need y'all help on this one, man. Is it me, or is y'all pissing Kendra off with some of these requests? Tell me why this woman is asking for a 6'3", 6'4" chocolate man making $80K and up, wants him to step pop her 3 kids, and bet on her future career that she hasn't even started yet.
Crazy.
When I tell y'all Kendra threw hella shade on that situation, man, woo.
So this is Maya, Newark, New Jersey, 31, is a Cancer. Was a teacher, was once married, has 3 children, is a Cancer. What kind of man are you looking for?
I would like for him to be tall because I'm kind of a tall girl. So I would like for him to be at least like 6'3", 6'4".
Listen, let me say this, okay? We hear this all the time. Okay, the man has to be this tall, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you are a 5'8", 5'9" woman, and you looking even 5'10", well, 5'8", 5'9", and you can't deal with a man that's 5'11", something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with that. Now, I can see a 5'10" woman. I've dated a couple 5'10" women in the course of my lifetime. And when I can see why they would want a 6-foot man. I can kind of see that. Unfortunately, there's only 14, 15% of this country. Men are 6 feet or taller. And it's not the 6 feet part that's the hard part. It's the other stipulations that they add on top of these 6 foot and taller men that is unrealistic for most men. Let's hear it.
Yes, I like tall men. Preferably dark skin if possible. And as far as the money is concerned, I mean, I live in Jersey. It's pretty expensive. So, yeah, he has to make a decent amount of money.
What is the amount?
I want to say at least $80,000 a year.
Listen, real quick. I'm gonna back this up real quick so y'all can hear that again. But I wanna stress something real quick, okay? Notice that the things that she asked for when she was looking for, I want y'all to keep this in the back of your mind before Kendra G goes off on her. The thing that I want y'all to keep in mind is the first thing she said is, I want a tall man making $80,000 a year. Now that's lower than the 6-figure mark that we hear from a lot of women today on these social medias. But notice again, women lead with the same thing. I want a 6 feet, 6-pack, 6 figures. Okay. I want all of these things. But they never talk about the intangible things. And that's what we're about to hear here in a little bit. So I just want to keep that in mind as you listen to the rest of this.
A decent amount of money.
What is the amount?
I want to say at least 80,000 a year, only because I'm currently in school and I'm trying to better myself. So I know I'm going to make that, amount of money someday. So I would just like for them to make the same amount.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Let me bring myself back up here. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? This woman is in school. She's not making 80K right now. She wants him to make 80K because one day she will make 80K. Not that this man can make 50 right now or 60 right now, and then one day y'all both build up to 80K or 100K or whatever it is y'all goals wind up being. She's like, no, he needs to be there because I see myself there. Well, why can't that man see himself there with the right person in his life? See, these women are going by the most superficial things that they are looking for, and it makes men raise an eyebrow. And then she got 3 kids. So this is a mother of 3, not making 80,000 right now. Wants you to go off of her potential. But notice that modern women today don't go off the potential of a man. Some women do. Okay? Some women do. I'll give women credit, the ones who see the potential in the man. And that's a whole other discussion that I'm willing to have on this channel at some point. Okay? But they want you to make a certain dollar amount, and they themselves are bringing so little to the table. They're not even asking for you to bring the most important things to the table. The things that we ask of women to bring to the table, to be FBI, right? As the late, great Kevin Samuels would say, feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. They're not even bringing that to the table. They might bring beauty. They're not bringing inspiration. They sure as in the hell not bringing femininity nowadays, all right? Craziness. As Preston would say, delusion, collusion, whatever rhymes that Preston got. Drop one in the chat there, Preston. I know you got one for that one. Okay. Let's continue. Kendra looks confused.
So you don't make 80,000 yet, but he has to already make 80,000.
Yes.
Delusion.
Yes, I'm near graduation, so I know. But yeah.
Really is. There is no need for me to try to lower anybody's standards. I really don't give a shit what y'all do. I mean, I'm meeting you right now for a couple of moments, but what I would like to do is share with you some things that are just reality. She pretty much describes a basketball player.
That's exactly what she just did. That's what she did. Right? That height, right? Guys that, listen, believe it or not, men that are in like, that gets promoted. There's a statistic that says something about like guys who are like 5'11", 6 feet or taller, have a family structure. Those guys are the most likely to be promoted in their company. But this woman here is describing a dude that's going to be hard to find. He is 6 foot tall or higher, 6'3" or 6'4". That's just crazy, right? Have to make $80,000 a year and accept her for 3 kids. Man, if this ain't delusion collusion for you, man, that's crazy.
That is that height. Like this is for you, but it's not really for you. So I'm just asking a simple question. How do you know this man? Is this man walking around in your reality?
Oh, that's a good question.
What's the situation when you're dating this man? Is it real? And
let me stop it right there. A lot of women asking for this dude, asking for this type of dude, and they may see, obviously they're going to see tall men walking around, but that's not necessarily the tall dude that they're looking for. That's not necessarily the type of man that they're looking for. Listen, I'm 6'3", 6'4", right? And that height alone isn't going to cut it. That height alone isn't going to cut it. right? There's got to be so much more. And the video I'm going to put out here soon with these modern women on it is like, it don't even matter if I'm 6'3", 6'4", right? I say 6'3", 6'4", you guys, because I'm 6'3" and a half. And when I put on shoes, I'm 6'4". You add the hair, I'm about 6'6" right now. But the point is, you know, I could have the height, the money. I keep myself in shape. And even that's not enough for some of these women. Because the video I'm going to make here in the next day or so, these women are like, well, he also gotta be a thug. Like, what kind of dude are you looking for? This dude gotta be a thug, 6'3", 6'4", make a certain amount of money, right? Oh my God, he gotta be exciting. Because you women are boring as hell. And you want us to entertain you like we goddamn boo-boo the clown fool. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. Ladies, this is why dudes are just giving up, because y'all are just unrealistic expectation. It is absolutely insane that this woman is looking for a dude that she don't even see on a regular basis. Anyway, let Kendra go off.
And standards to me is not based on attributes of height, money, and appearance. Standards to me should be based on character.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of you guys have not dated the man that you described, because if you did, then you would know who gives a fuck about all that if the character is not intact.
Let's stop right there. Let us stop right there. That was a big point that I was trying to make, that I've made on this channel before. Women start off worrying about the 6-pack, 6 feet, 6 figures, and none of them are really concerned about the character of that man. All they're caring about is how you're going to give me the lifestyle that I want. That's all they care about. Are you going to be able to take care of me and my 3 kids? Are you going to be able to allow me to be able to floss and do these things, right? To show off. And none of that stuff matters when you're talking about long-term committed relationships. You're talking about the character of a man. And women nowadays don't give a shit about the character of a man. They don't give a damn. They really don't. It is the same cut and paste. If you've watched this channel and watched the videos I've put out, you guys hear the exact same standards set out by modern women today. None of them are talking about the character of a man. They worried about this dude. You got 5'4" women looking for 6 feet guys. Does that even make sense? They're not even talking about the character of a man. None of these women care about that. And they for sure don't talk about love anymore. As I've stated many times on this channel, I go through thousands of videos and I'm telling you, I do not hear it nor see it, gents. I don't see it at all. So I'm going to let Kendra finish roasting, but y'all get my point. Makes no sense at all.
Because y'all want this man to also have this good character that's going to love on you and be there for you when you really need it. If God forbid something happened to you in life, is he going to stand by you when you paralyzed, or whoever knows how life will happen? So this lowering standards, no, I'm trying to have you guys raise your standards. Absolutely. And think about the character of a man more than the outward attributes.
Let me stop right there. Right there. I know it's about I'm sorry to keep butting in, but that is a very important point. You also hear women talking about, well, that's why most of you guys can't handle us, or you can't get us, because we've raised our standards and you all just can't cut it. Make sure you guys go check out my video about how the one woman talked about men being average at least. I put average at best. She said average at least, right? Or average at best. I guess that's the best way to put it. But the thing is, if you're really raising your standards above what all these other women are putting out here nowadays, then you would be worried about the character of a man. You'd be worried about how that man is going to treat you. You'd be worried about, is this man going to be a good family man? Is this man going to love me, take care of me? And I'm not even talking about making 6 figures or anything like that. I'm talking about take care of me and look out for our family, right? They don't care about any of those things. Can I trust this man? Is this man reliable? Is this somebody that is going to value me for what I bring as a woman? Because I will do these things as a woman. I will value, respect, give him femininity, beauty, inspiration, stroke his head when he needs at the end of the day. If my man needs something, he hungry, I'm gonna make sure my man's belly is full. Women don't even think or care about these things anymore. Modern women today are the most selfish I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. I've never seen this. I'm not saying women weren't selfish back in the past, but I've never seen this level of selfishness out of women nowadays. You cannot even trust a woman to have your back the way you need it as a man. You're just wondering when she's going to up and take your bag and go. That is raising standards. Stop picking like these other women in the streets and pick on something that is more tangible for long-term success in relationships. But they don't care. They only care about themselves. I told you, these women are selfish as shit.
And I can talk about this man because I done dated him 10,000 times.
And Kendra, why aren't you with him? Anyway.
So makeup, 27. You got anything else to say, huh? Shit.
Did he just call her?
Listen to Kendra.
She went off. She said, did she use a 304? She wasn't trying to talk to that woman directly, but she felt it because she hears this all the time on her show. It is absolutely insane.
All right. Let me try to stand up.
She gonna stand up to make a point. All right, James, get this. Watch out this.
Okay.
Oh, you got the body. You got the body. Well, now I'm understanding. You got the body, you got the face, you got the hair. Okay. You definitely fit with that type of guy.
Thank you.
Listen. Look, she was thick below, waist was small, bow, plang, right? All that stuff was right. I would say in the face, and I don't want to rate this woman, but I'm gonna do it, like she had no makeup on. Kudos to her. We talk about these women stripping the makeup down, but at the same time, lady, in the face, you're just an average, if not an average woman. She's an average woman. Okay? Her body ain't average, but her face is average. And then you're talking about she has 3 kids and demand. It doesn't matter what your body look like, lady. You still got 3 kids and you still expecting a man to come in and take care of you and them kids. You still expecting a man to come in on your potential. And you think that is supposed to convince a man that he's supposed to get with you? And listen, some man would see her and be like, yeah, I'm going to get with her because she fine as hell. Y'all need to stop falling for that trap, bro. Listen, I fell for that trap before, okay? You going by just somebody's body instead of the character of the woman. We're talking about character here. If you're going to learn from my mistakes, I'm telling y'all right now, you can't let the fact that she's stacked be the thing, right? This woman has some serious baggage, including probably college debt that you're going to wind up taking on. Hell, in both of my marriages, I wound up losing my income tax checks because both of my exes had student loans that came back and bit me later on. One year, we lost $5,000. I had a good year, right? I'd made some really high bonuses that year, right? And because of that high bonus, I was getting back a fat tax return. I got with my first ex for 2 years straight. They took about $5 to $6 grand from me. 2 years straight, paying back her student loans. Do you want to do that? This is another reason why men try to avoid these older women, because they still have student loans that they gonna be paying forever. And when you get married to them and y'all Social Securities combined, you on the hook for that student loan that she ain't paid for. Let's get to your comments. Let us get to your comments. We're at that point of the night. I gotta put these on. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, I think. Hold on real quick. Let me take that off and make sure I can get. Yeah, I missed a lot. There we go. Oh, I already read that. There's a lot of older women with higher standards when their standards should be lower because they're older. They have less leverage. I agree. And that goes for some men too, but we just got to be men. We have to be more realistic about what we get. We know we're not, we get to the point where we know we're not a 7 or 8 or a 9 or a 10, and we have to be realistic about that. Face, turquoise covering eyes, face, turquoise covering. That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. And women want you to come into them with 3 kids and have no authority. And that's right. Men aren't going to be on the, like, you won't give us the authority to be able to raise the kids. And the kids be bad as hell. Ain't nobody trying to do that. Facts. Men want something realistic. Women be wanting a fairy tale. That's true. You can't not tell these women the truth. They're so used to pretty lies instead of the ugly truth that they're snorting loony baloney delusion. There you go. Thank you, Preston. They expect these men to only have eyes for them, right? You'll definitely see this woman alone because of her superficial greed and crashing into the walls of reality's catastrophe. Preston, you're on the road. Marvin, shout out to being here. Thank you so much, Marvin, for being here. Marvin says, sure he can. These people are looking for the man of their dreams in a land of delusion, snorting confusion, the brain cells they're losing. Preston on the road now. Rando says, I'm pretty sure Kendra be out lying on here, cootie cat. Right? Oh, talking about the 10,000 men she's dated. Nah, her standard is too high and she got 3 kids. I can see that, bro. You being nice as hell. Right? See, the lady just contradicted her advice to the woman. She should have asked her what her character is like. Right. So these people can't even cut accountability with a butter knife or fry a Slim Jim to save their afterlife. Good points, Jen. I'm going to bring up the next video clip. All right. Now, we have another woman that I'm going to bring up here, right? Now, listen, this woman is in her 40s, or she's 40 at the time of recording this, which means she's probably about 41 right now. And look, she's going to give a realistic situation. I'll ask a question of you guys right after we watch this video. This is another woman that's out there, and she's going to tell you about how she's a little different. Okay, let's discuss it.
Hey, y'all, things nobody asked for, but I'm going to give them to you anyway. So I was having a conversation with my girlfriends. I'm freshly 40. I just turned 40, like, towards the latter part of last year in September. And I've come to the realization that I'm either going to meet a divorcee, like, upper in age that already has children, or I'm going to end up probably with a younger guy.
Let me stop it right there. She's going to go into her thoughts on why she's going to end up with a younger guy or why she's going to end up with an older guy. But this is the reality for women that are her age. A guy that's in his 50s are going to look at this woman in her 40s, and he's going to say, you know what? She's not young anymore. So not every older guy wants to date a woman in her 20s or 30s, right? Because a woman in her 30s is going to have kids. An older guy may not want to have kids anymore. He might have his kids. He might be divorced. He might be whatever, right? But that guy is probably more in line with the age that she needs to be talking to, upper 40s, early to mid 50s, because to that guy, she's a lot younger now, okay? And this woman is a little bit more established in her life, and so he doesn't want to go through the BS. So this might be the perfect union between older people. The problem is that these women, some of these women still think that they can snag guys in their age range. And guys that are in their 40s don't necessarily want to talk to women in their 40s. And this is not a knock on 40-year-old women. I know 40-year-old women that still look good, still keep themselves together, or still got it going on for themselves, right? But men just don't want to deal with the baggage. But this woman is going to get back into the explanation of why she believes that she's either going to pull a younger dude or an older dude and tell you the pros and the cons of it.
But it's going to be either a younger guy that doesn't really want kids, or he's already had a child, because I don't think I'm having any more kids at this point in my life. I just have one daughter. I'm good with that. I don't want to be having children like that after 40. I really don't.
And that's why it might be better for her to talk to people that are a little bit older, okay? Even though These women claim they have these young guys in their orbit, and these young guys are just looking for some punani. They just want a little bit of moose shoe, goose shoe guy pan with this woman, okay? And women like her. But they're not trying to have no long-term committed relationships. No.
Because I'm at a point where I want to enjoy my life. I just want to travel with my 19-year-old daughter, you know, where now we can really go places and enjoy things together now that she's a young adult. I want to have a companion that I can travel with like that we can just get up and go if we want to. And I really feel like I'm either going to find a divorcee or I'm going to find a younger guy.
Let me stop it right there real quick. You also notice that I have no problem with her saying that she might want to find somebody or be with somebody who might be looking to be a little bit older now, want to enjoy life, want to travel. I kind of get that. But the problem that I have with it, just as a put it in the back of your head and think about it, aren't we hearing all these women talking about that? Where somebody's going to fly them out, fly them to different places? Are we hearing that more and more from women nowadays? And it's not to say that they're wrong for wanting to have that. But I'm saying when you start to hear every woman talk this way, it kind of make you go, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of give you that little cause for pause. Let's get back to it.
I don't know. And I see like all these people on TikTok, like I see a lot of women with younger men and I'm like, can I do it? Because my brother and I were 7 years apart. So he's 33. Like if I get somebody my brother's age, that is going to be so weird to me because I have a brother that's younger than me. You know, that's like that. But
hold up real quick. That's kind of the difference between men and women. I had, I was out at the local bar about a week ago. And a woman asked me about dating younger women. And I said, I have, you know, I don't really think of the concept of age, but I look at like, you know, what does this woman bring to me for where she's at in life? How is she going to treat me? So this woman, when I said that, yeah, I've dated younger women. And she kind of had that, why, right? Kind of like that whole, like I was doing something wrong by saying I date younger women or, you know, I have dated younger women. And I told her, I said, that's not exclusively what I look for. That's not what I'm looking for. Hell, give me somebody that can just be, God dang it, just be a woman that has respect for me and what I do. That shows me that she can be feminine, beautiful, and inspirational to me. That's what we look for. We don't care about the age. Hell, you can date a woman that's if you're her age or, you know, 40, a little bit older, mid 40s. You might talk to a woman that's in her early 40s or in even the same age as you. But what kind of baggage does this woman have? We're talking about can older men and women, older men and older women make it work in relationships. So there's things about older women that make men cause for pause. And when women talk and start expressing the same things, we start seeing patterns. As men, we see patterns. And when we see the same type of patterns, it makes us back up. It makes us think twice. And rightfully so. Because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, ain't gonna fool me again.
I can kind of see myself with somebody a little bit younger because I'm young at heart. I love all that kind of stuff. Like I'm into anime, I cosplay, I love science fiction, Marvel, Harry Potter. Like I have this youth spirit, you know. I listen to K-pop. Come on.
And look, she might be cool to talk to for somebody. Like that's another reason, right? Younger women, let me put myself back up on screen to say this real quick. The reason why some men like to go for younger women is because women that are younger, quote unquote younger, can make a man feel like his spirit is alive again. And this woman might be perfect for one of you guys out there in the sense that if she still likes to kind of go out and you could joke and laugh and have a good time, and I'm not saying party it up, I'm just saying just enjoy each other's company, then you might find a woman like this appealing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But even she's having misgivings because she's gotten older now. And I'm sure the amount of suitors that she have isn't the same. So she's going to have to be realistic about who she's looking for. And I believe that's what she's trying to relay in this video.
And I kind of feel like I may end up with somebody younger, but at the same time, I think I might find an older divorcee. I don't know. But I feel like those are my two options. Like, I don't know why those two seem to stand out to me. But at this age of 40, like freshly 40, I kind of think that's my dating in the future.
And that's because that is one of the most realistic options, okay? That is one of the most realistic options for a woman her age. And that's not to, hold on real quick, you guys. Let me adjust this camera. There we go. And that's not to necessarily take away from this woman, right? I like the fact that she has little to no makeup too. I'm glad we've seen a couple of videos where these women are wearing little makeup. I actually appreciate that. I actually find little to no makeup more appealing nowadays because women cake it on so much. They pretty much take out the paintbrush roller, putting on some of the makeup that you see nowadays. Okay. But listen, she's realistic because men her age that are in shape, doing what they're supposed to do, have their kids already, they can actually look for younger, right? Being an older man, you can look and get someone a little bit younger. And again, that is no slight on women her age. That's just to say that that's an option that's available to an older man that is taking care of himself, both physically, financially, and mentally. So the reason why you see yourself being with someone younger is because younger guys are just looking for anybody right now, and older dudes will look at you as younger than they are. I'm talking about dudes that are in their late 40s, early 50s, mid to early 50s. That is the most realistic option for some of these older women out here nowadays. But they don't want to talk to that dude because they still think that they deserve a certain type of man. They still think that this man, this mythical man, is out there for them. And that may not necessarily be the truth. Not for all women, right? Not for all women. So I want to see what you guys have to say. Let me clear this and get my next video together. Let's see where we're at. God damn it. I got these glasses back on. Y'all got me reading these tiny ass words on the screen. Where was that live? Okay. If a younger guy knows he wants a family, he's not going to settle for an older woman because of nature. Yeah, he will lay with her, but he may not get with her long term. And that's what I said, right? Ladies, 304 phase is for life. Stay there. Rando. That's funny. Notice she said science fiction. So I guess truth really is stranger than fiction. I hear you, Preston. Get real, please. These people didn't want us in their prime, so keep that same energy in your decline. Ooh. Listen, and some of you women might think what Preston just said there was harsh. You might think, well, what he said there was harsh, but a lot of guys feel that way, right? A lot of guys feel like, hey, man, when I was that same woman, when I was trying to get with you younger, you had no time for me. Now you're older. Now you're like, okay, I gotta get a divorcee that's older, or I gotta get with a younger dude, right? That's what guys have a problem with. Guys don't want to play second fiddle to the choices you made when we were younger. Now, do we make mistakes? Absolutely. I've passed up on some good women because of dumbass decisions I made, right? I can admit that. I told you I don't have a problem admitting fault. I'm not perfect on this channel. I'm just trying to be a guide to let you know that, hey, you can get past that kind of stuff. But again, I told you there's a difference between men and women and how we select, how we choose. And that means a lot. So guys see women like this and it's like, well, it's all good that you hear, but I ain't trying to mess with that. Now, for some of you men out there, that might have been the perfect woman because her kid is grown now. And if you're not trying to have kids, that might be the type of woman you get with. She still has energy, still energetic. She might be cool. You might just enjoy her cosplaying, or y'all getting ready for the next Marvel movie. That might be cool. Again, I'm not trying to diss this woman. I'm trying to say that men and women, especially as we get older, we might have to be more realistic about our options out there. The problem is you might see that woman and say, you know what? That might be a viable option. The problem is, like the first woman said in the very first clip or the second clip, that they decide to stay at home. How are we supposed to meet you guys? You guys don't make yourself available. Stop hanging out with your girlfriends that are still trying to show off and diss men just to show that they still got it, and then you miss out on your blessing. See what I'm saying? Let's get to the next video. Now, this is a generic video. This woman is going to talk generically about how dating is in the 40s. And this is not a slight diss, whatever. This is something that we all need to hear about dating in the 40s, being realistic, okay? I'm actually on her side on this one. Let me remove this one. There we go. God dang it. Sorry, you guys.
Dating is already a headache for all of us. Throw in being 40, divorced, adult children, and trying to meet others that are in the same boat that you are. Because let me tell you, it's a doozy.
Look, she talked about having adult kids. Again, for some of you men out there, right, this might be a viable option in terms of you have adult kids or you don't have any. Well, if you want to have kids, then this might not be the woman for you, because women that have adult kids and they haven't had any sense, all their kids are grown, this might be the best option. This might be the best option. And I'm not saying the best option, but I'm saying this might be a viable choice. So don't look at this woman and necessarily turn away. Now, I do have a problem that I'm going to bring up that I have with older women. Not all of them, but some, right? But I'll bring it up at the end of this video. Please remind me if I don't bring it up.
When you're dealing with dating over 40, because you're meeting other people that have been traumatized like you in previous relationships. And we have no time, no interest in playing a lot of games. And I can only speak for me, and I can tell you that I have met some very interesting people. But one of the biggest things that I run into are people that are not ready. They say they're ready, but there's a part of them that are still triggered by what happened to them in the past.
That woman brought up a great point. That's why I say I'm on her side, because this is something that we're seeing with both men and women today, that people haven't done the work. Pardon me, gents. I talk about this all the time on the channel about us doing the work. And there's a reason why I talk about doing the work, because at the end of the day, you can sit here and say you're looking for this, that, and the third. But gents, if you haven't done the work, you're going to fall into the same situation where you might have a good woman that's in your corner and she's going to wind up leaving you because she's looking for a man. And if you get to the point where you can date a woman in her 40s, you're old enough to date a woman in her 40s, and you're still not operating in your manhood, you're going to lose that woman too. And I'm not saying that that's right. I'm just saying that's a reality. Something that we need to be realistic about, both men and women. But there is a lot of delusional women out there who will tell a man, we always as men have to work on ourselves. We always have to be the best version of ourselves. And you have women out there who will tell men, well, you know, you need to do this, that, and third, and you got to bring all this to the table. But when you ask them about what they bring to the table, they're like, why you going to tell me what I bring to the table? I am the table, right? This is the kind of stuff that men don't want to deal with and men don't want to hear. So we have a lot of older men and older women who are sitting there just basically blocking their own blessings on finding somebody because they aren't willing to be put in the work. They aren't willing to take accountability for the things that they've done in the past. They weren't willing to take accountability of their actions and make the changes that are necessary to be the best version of themselves. Okay, let's get back to the video.
And let's just be honest. We've all had our heart broken.
Yep.
We've all have been through some interesting things.
Well,
but when you get into dating and saying that you want to give it another try, it can be scary at times.
Yep.
And I have found that to be the case with me now dating over 40.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? That's exactly it. We have a bunch of people now, men and women in their 40s, that are scared to date. Now, let me tell you what I told y'all before, right? I said I was going to bring it up. Shout out to you, Ennis. I'm going to get to your comment here in a second. Glad to see you up here, brother. One of the things that I have a problem with dating older women is not that their mind, not like some of their mindsets, I don't have a problem with, right? The problem I have is that y'all know me, right? I kind of lead a kind of active lifestyle. I continue to work on myself and my fitness. Speaking of which, I've written the initial parts of chapter 9 and chapter 10. I have to go through and proofread it, but I have finished chapter 9 and chapter 10. All I have to do is write the conclusion, and then I have to obviously start working on getting into book form. So my book is coming along, you guys, and it will be ready. I hope you guys are ready for it. But I keep myself in shape because that's what I've always done. I keep myself in shape because I realize as we get older, especially us men, right, we need to make sure that we have taken care of our health. My dad and my grandfather died at an early age from not taking care of their health. And I'm seeing that these women will get to their 40s, and some of these women just completely give up on taking care of themselves and their fitness. And as nice as this woman might be, right, I like that she has little makeup on too, right? She does have makeup on, but she don't have a whole lot on, right? I can respect this woman for her thoughts. She seems to be a sweet lady. But on the flip side, right, if you look close enough, you know, like, yeah, you get older, you got to work on some things. But like for a guy like me, right, if you want the 6-pack, 6 figures, all this stuff, then you got to work on some stuff too, you know? And I'm not saying that a woman who's in her 40s is going to be perfect when she's working out, right? I'm not going to say that. Let me put myself back on the screen. I'm not saying that women in their 40s are going to be able to get the perfect body again. I get that. But I sure want to know that you care about your health. You know what I'm saying? That you're at least working on it. I don't expect a woman to be perfect. No, I'm not going to say that. That's delusional as well, right? But at least care about it. Don't let me be the only one caring about my health, okay? Let me get to these comments real quick before I get to the next video. Where we at? The best option for these women is to stop living in delusion, snorting. Did I read that? Snorting too much confusion. No, I didn't read that. Sean, can a 40-year-old woman still catch feelings if you touch the bottom? Oh, also, is it okay to shoot the club up? She ain't gonna get pregnant, right? That's not necessarily true. That is not necessarily true. Some of these women. So you missed Ennis. You missed the video I had earlier where the woman talked about, hey, don't ask me about my men that are in my life because I got, all women got that one dude that know how to hit it just right. You ain't got to worry about him. When we get together, it's you and I. I ain't going to get with him. See, they like that dude for the excitement, but they settle with the dude that is the one that they think is going to be more likely to settle down. So the truth is, women can catch feelings if you do touch that bottom, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be their first option. Or if you are their option, it doesn't mean that you're the one that they're going to eventually end up with. And then as far as some women at 40 might hit menopause at that point, but I'll be honest with you guys. My mom at 45 years old had my sister. She gave birth to my sister at 45 years old. That's right. My sister is younger than my daughters. So don't think it ain't possible, right? Until she get that doctor evaluation that says that she can't have kids no more, you cannot think that you can do that. I hope that answers your question. Do you have any cougar stories? Probably, if I think hard enough about it. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Preston laughing about that. Nice. Rando says they should have been married 20 years ago. Right. And listen, some women have been married 20 years ago and they got divorced. And then some of us could say they should have stayed with some of those dudes. But let's just face it, right? Like I had a friend who went through a divorce and she stayed with that dude even past the divorce. And then once their kid graduated high school, she wound up leaving the dude. She stayed, they got divorced already, but they just stayed together for their daughter. And then he's a nice enough guy, but he's also a guy that's not doing and handling his business like he should. So should she have stayed when she can't even trust that dude? He stole from her. See, there are reasons that women leave. And that's where we have to be ready for these types of relationships, that we can make sure that we're in the right place to be able to steer these things in the right direction. Be the leader of the family that they can count on and be respected for. Because just because you're a man and you've done certain things don't mean you are ready for a relationship. Just what the last woman talked about, right? So we all have to do that work. We have to put in that work. And I talk about it all the time on this channel. It's not enough just to be a man, because we can't ask of one thing of a woman that we're not willing to do ourselves. We do, if we are going to be that man, you have to be the type of woman to allow that man, if he's a leader, to lead. But a lot of these women aren't able to do that because they've been trying to control things for so much and for so long. Then when they get with a real man, they don't know how to deal with it. Just a thought. Your mom gave birth at 45. Are you serious? No, I'm very serious. Yes. My mom is in her 60s now, but she had my sister when she was 45. And at the time, I was in my mid-20s. Right? So there you go. Next video.
In praise of older men, men in my age range, I see you and I choose you. And you know why? I'm a 46-year-old woman. I am not a young woman. But for whatever reason I can't still wrap my brain around, I have younger men orbiting. I have younger men who want access.
Yes, they do. They want access to all that coochie coo. Listen, you hear all these women talk about younger men accessing around. Look, younger men right now are, if you look at the statistics, a lot of them aren't out there doing a lot. So the ones who are able to, they are trying to get it wherever they can now because the market has completely changed. And so it'd be easy to have an older woman that you can mess around with, you know, have a little fling with, but these dudes aren't going to stay around. And that's something else, right? You know, some of these older women get with these younger dudes. It's all exciting and fun because you got a younger dude, and they get with you because they're ready to slow down, you know? But then you can't compete with that younger dude. It's too funny, man. It's so messed up.
And I've spent some time with these younger men. And yes, they're pretty to look at. So are younger women, right? We can't lie. I'm not going to try to convince you that a 26-year-old female is going to be like hard on the eyes just because my 46-year-old self wants to be all insecure. No, they're pretty to look at. Yep.
You notice he said, so like her 46-year-old Till won't be insecure. Yeah, you know what? You can't be insecure. Look, when I was with my son's mom, I made no qualms about it that if I saw a pretty woman, I didn't like try to keep my head down, didn't look. I would say, God dang, she's fine. And I was cool enough. I got to say one thing. I got to give my ex credit on something. When I would do that, it was no disrespect to her. Like I didn't want to be with her or anything. But she also realized that like, she was like, yeah, she got it going on. You know, she understood. But the thing is, I was with her. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of honesty that you need to be able to have in a relationship. Too many people be like, oh, they're getting their feelings and stuff. You know what I mean?
Is beautiful, but when I hang out with younger guys, there's something missing.
She's about to tell
They're
us.
visually nice to like take in through my eyeballs, but they just don't have the like weight that a man who's been through it. I thought of this the other day. It was like, it's like I'm attracted to the fact that a man in my age range is a little bit dead inside.
What the
I
heck?
find that very sexy.
What
Because
is
if
that?
you've really lived your life, even if you've had a fantastic life, then you've had your heart broken, you've dealt with health stuff, you've been through the ups and downs financially, you've had your heart crushed once, if not twice, you've aging parents. I mean, you've been through life. And that's sexy. It's sexy. It makes you a man and not a boy, or a woman and not a girl.
You hear that?
A little bit dead inside. I'm telling you, it's the like intangible spice of what I can see in my heart and soul these days is what I want. I don't want just someone that's pretty to look at. I can look at them on Instagram, but in real life,
Please don't.
I want you to have been through the ringer, because I have too, because we all have. And I like that, right?
So look, again, there's no knock on this woman. I don't have anything bad to say about it. She's talking about why she doesn't want to date younger men. And one of the things she brought up, that I think is very important to the conversation about can older men and women make it work in a relationship? And it is because of those shared things, right? I have more in common with someone closer to my age, obviously, than I do someone younger. I can't relate to some of these young women because they don't know, right? They don't have that Gen X experience. They don't have that telephone, the rotary telephone, or looking at a telephone book, or having to put quarters into a phone, or listening to a tape cassette, or playing Atari or Nintendo. They don't have none of those experiences. They didn't grow up with none of that. They didn't grow up in the 90s where they had all the love songs and stuff like that. Matter of fact, is there even such thing as love songs anymore? Is there any real R&B anymore? Right? Like, I don't even know anymore, right? Like, I had to start listening to older stuff. I was wondering about my mom, who started listening to the same music over and over again. And I didn't understand why. I said, man, why do you always listen to this same old ass music? And she's like, because I like it. But then I realized I find myself listening to all my old stuff too. Or I'm always a year or two behind everything everybody else likes. You see what I'm saying? So there's an argument to be made to be with somebody who's been through life so that they can understand where you're coming from and they can relate to you. So to say that older men and older women shouldn't get together, I'm not totally for that. But what men don't want to deal with is, she talked about in that video, she wants a man that has been through life, a man, not a boy. And I respect any woman who is looking for a grown man, and I more respect the men who are actually men. And this doesn't mean you got to boss her around, slap her around, stuff like that. It just means that you're decisive in what you're doing. You have a purpose. I talk about purpose on this channel all the time, and there's a reason why I talk about purpose, because you can't begin to get into this conversation, and you definitely can't begin to think that you can have a successful relationship if you are a man without a purpose. A man without a purpose is a ship without a sail. You're just taking about the waves, right? So it's just something that I wanted you guys to get in mind. And that's why the last two videos I felt were really important, because I felt that it spoke to how dating a relationship is for older men and women. Okay. Now, I want you guys, before I get to your comments, we're going to finish out the comments and close out tonight's live stream. But I'm going to play this last video clip so you guys can see the difference between how women talk to men about men in their 20s versus when they get older, 40s or 50s. Okay.
And just to let you niggas know, we don't need y'all. We want y'all, but we don't need you.
20 years later.
Our black men, we want all y'all back. Because we love you, we see you, kings, and most importantly, we need you. And most importantly, we need you.
And most importantly, we need you.
Oh, I think that's another thing, another problem, that this is why I said this conversation, if you're a younger man, why this conversation is important to you, because of that type of video right there. The younger women are sitting there, they're in their divinity, they're all queens, they're all princesses, they're all tens, right? And then they get older and that clock is ticking, and they've had all this independence and they've had this career, but they've put off having a family, and the guy that was treating them right, they didn't want him because they thought they could do better. And then you start seeing them talking about, where's the good man at? Where is the man that is gonna don't want to play games and who wants to settle down? right? They start asking those questions once that clock is ticking, once their internal clock is ticking. That's when they want to start asking those type of questions. But when you were in their purview when they were younger, they weren't even looking at you. So if you don't think that this video has anything to do with you as a younger man, it has absolutely everything to do with you. Because in 20 more years, you're going to look back and you're going to think about conversations like the one we're having today. And you're going to be like, God dang it, I'm in that exact same position. You're going to understand that you've been through some life, the trials and tribulations, and everything that you've been through. You're going to realize that dating doesn't get easier when you're older. It only gets harder. And listen, you can be an older man with money, but if you're an older man who haven't learned the lessons and decide to be on your purpose, decide to be on your game, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle the exact same way. If you're not a man that is taking care of your health and looking after yourself, what woman is going to want to get with you? She's not. Because these women still have high expectations of what they're looking for. They still want a man that is in shape. Just like we want them to still kind of have some youthful and vibrance to them. All right? We don't want a woman to make us feel old. We want her to make us feel young. And women want a dude that they can feel established with, that is going to take care of things, going to handle his business. So this conversation is important to both older men and younger men, because this is what we all going to have to deal with at some point in our lives. All right? I'll get to the comments in a second, but let me get to question of the day. All right? In your opinion, would you or wouldn't you date an older woman today? I want to know why. Why would you or why wouldn't you date an older woman? Matter of fact, give me a reason why you would date an older woman, and give me a reason why you wouldn't date an older woman. Let me know down in the comment section below, and you guys that are still here live, let me know in the chat. Why would you date an older woman if you was older, or if right now, and why wouldn't you? I want to know a pro and I want to know a con. Okay. Make sure you guys go check out the video I recently did with my friend Janine. Go check out these websites down below, right? If you need something like printed on a cup or a t-shirt or whatever, go visit her website down there. I don't get any kickback from it. This is just a help to my friend who we filmed like 5 videos together, and you guys will see in the next upcoming weeks. I'm going to drop 1 video a week with our conversations that I had. I wanted to get a woman's perspective on the channel, reviewing these videos with me. And also, thank you guys for this year, for all you've done in terms of super chats and cash apps, right? Everything that you guys get. The reason why I'm able to have the logo in there, is able to upgrade and get the music for the channel, get the microphones, videos, all that stuff like that. It's because of all the donations you guys gave to the channel. Everything goes back into the channel. Thank you guys for everyone who's ever contributed and looked after this channel, because this is your channel too, okay? So thank you so much for that, okay? That's the link to the Cash App right there, in case you want to go that route, or a super chat. Again, not necessary. The best thing you can do for me is subscribe to the channel and support the videos. Like the videos, leave comments, watch another video afterwards. Actually, that's the biggest thing you can do. When you watch a video, watch one more after it, okay? Thank you very much for you guys' support on this channel. I appreciate it more than you know. Can't express to you guys. All right, let me get to the comments. Oh, you already read that? Access to what now? Where's she at? What did she say? Aging parrots. I didn't hear all that, but that's funny. Those phones are classics. That's right. The rotary phones, yep. Because the old school is cool. It's all about mutual respect, love, and trust. I agree with that. Hell no. You serious? Keep that same energy in your decline, independent, and on your grind. Stay in your prime. And then Preston says, because we want to deal with the use, because we want to deal with useless baggage and train wrecks? I guess I'm thinking you said we don't want to deal with useless baggage and train wrecks. I agree with that statement. Thank you guys for everything tonight, okay? I need to get off of here. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to give you guys all a shout out. I date them if they can still have kids. I date them if they can still have kids. I wouldn't if she's still aggressive. Okay, that's a good point. And it says, after becoming high value, do you believe in having mercy on a modern day woman with the Miss Independent mentality after they hit the wall? Or do you believe in vengeance, let them burn? I don't believe in vengeance. Ennis, if you've heard me on this channel all the time, the first thing I tell you guys is don't be bitter and angry at these women. Don't be. Because it only hurts you. It only holds you back from being the best version of yourself. I'm not bitter or angry at these women. As much as they've done me wrong, as much as I've been put through the ringer, right? I have stories for your ass on that, okay? But the truth is, I'm not bitter or angry. And that's because, Ennis, I've done the work. I've done enough of the work that I'm not mad, right? If somebody doesn't want to talk to me or doesn't treat me right or whatever, I let them go. I'd rather just do my own thing, man, than to deal with people that's not going to show me the same respect, right? I have a lot of quote unquote friends / acquaintances, and some of them I've just stopped texting or whatever. And it's not because I don't care for them or whatever, but I can't be the only one sending messages out. Can't be the only one checking up on my female friends. Can't be the only one checking up on my male friends, right? At least with my male friends, I understand that we may not talk all the time, but we good. You know what I mean? Like most of the time we good. But with my female friends, it's like, well, why am I checking up on you? You don't check up on me. Because what else do you offer me that I can't talk about with my male friends? Yeah, I might get a different perspective. But what I'm saying is, if I'm looking to you for that soft, intimate conversation and you can't even be available for me, but I can be available for you, then why am I doing it? Why am I allowing myself to be strung along? So those are the type of relationships I tend to let go, and the ones that I tend to not put much stock and value anymore. And again, it's not to say I don't care. Again, I'm not sitting here bitter or whatever, so I don't want to burn the world. What I will say is, Ennis, is that as I've gotten older, I've changed the way I date. I tend to like to date seriously people and women that are professionals. And you might be saying, well, Sean, wouldn't she have that strong, independent mindset? Why would you do that? It's because they end up respecting me because I have managed when I was still in the military at the very end of my time, I managed and ran a division of 200 people on a daily basis, right? So I understand what it's like to have to manage, how to lead people, how to manage programs. So when I date women who are professional, I respect them, and they usually respect me a hell of a lot because when I talk long enough, they know I know what I'm talking about. My last girlfriend, she always loved the fact that she could call me and she can vent about her day, and I understood what she was going through, right? I understand what it takes to make it in the business side of the world. I understand what it takes to manage and lead people. And there's not too many scenarios or situations that I haven't been in. So I like to talk to women that actually are business professionals who don't care about what I have. They care about the content of my character. They care about my experience and they respect it. So if you're not looking, not everybody's ready for that type of woman because that type of woman is going to demand a lot from a man. But one thing I can say about me is I am a man. All right? That part I know. Right? I plan things out. I am thoughtful. I've learned a lot over the years through my mistakes, through my trials and tribulations, and that makes me more prepared to be with people or to be with the right person because I understand what it takes now. I understand that you can't be a pushover, but you don't have to again, beat you a little bit over the head, and you don't have to try to boss and control her. No, I know how to demand respect out of anybody I'm with. I demand respect because of what I've been through. They look at it and they see it as wow, this dude has been through a lot of stuff. And he's learned a lot. And I can learn from him. Be the type of man that a woman can learn from and grow with. Not just the type of man that's just trying to be bossy and controlling. Does that make sense? Being bossy and controlling doesn't make you a man. Being a person that is inspirational and that a woman can look to for leadership because you have proven it. Your actions prove it. That is how you keep a woman around, right? That's how you keep a real woman around. Okay? That was sarcasm. I hear you. At the point this point in life that you are at, Sean, you should have acquired enough life experience with women to be indifferent and know how to move accordingly. I respect that. I absolutely do. That's why that's exactly everything I just said in that rant, right? That I have learned that and I do know how to move accordingly. And women who get with me, there's women who get with me and can't deal with it, right? They can't deal with the fact that I know where I'm going with my life and I know what I'm doing. And the fact that unlike their old men that maybe wasn't able to take control and take charge, I've learned through my experiences how to and do it in such a way that commands their respect. And then the ones who can't deal with that, then it's good. They just showed me who you are, right? When someone shows you who they are, believe them. But I respect the women that respect me for having that experience in life and using that experience to show that I'm a man that can take charge. And this is why I talk about on this channel all the time about men being on your purpose, working on yourself. Not because you're trying to get some woman. You do it because that's what us men do. That's what this channel is about. I hope you guys can understand and respect that. Honestly, I understand that a lot of these modern day women were doomed the moment that they were born in Western society and they don't even realize it, products of their environment. And that's why I respect also women who hear what I'm saying. They may not agree with it all, and I can respect that. But they hear me as a man. They see the way I carry myself and my actions, and so they can respect me. And they can follow to some extent what I'm saying. And they respect me for it. And that's all I can ask. It's all you can ask as a man. Hell's no, ain't no pushover in this channel. And that's exactly what I mean, Preston. I'm not a pushover. And that's something I had to get over. You know what I mean? But then again, the men that are born in West Side go through even more. That's why men advocate spaces is key to help men understand where they stand, what's female nature. Absolutely, and that is the perfect way to say it. And how to become the best version of themselves. And that's why I always say on this channel about men living their best lives. All right, I got to get out of here. Shout out to you, Ennis. Thank you so much for that good conversation at the end because I thought it was one that needed to be had. Shout out to you, Preston, as always. Rando Ganja, thank you so much for being here and providing insight tonight. I really appreciate that. Who else do we have up in here tonight? Bosses of Talk, thank you so much for being here. Marvin Wells, thank you for dropping by tonight. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Who else do we have up in here? I don't want to miss anybody. Byron Parker, thank you for stopping by tonight. I appreciate it. Shout out to my friends at the Sandvan. Please go check out their channel. If you love travel channels, especially van life and stuff like that, if you want to learn more about Australia and New Zealand, they do travels all through there. You're going to love their adventures. Very sweet couple, and they're good friends of mine. I support them. Did I miss anybody? Did I miss somebody I did not give a shout out to? Let me look through one more time just to make sure we're good. All right, we're all good on that. All right, Ennis gave me the thumbs up. Appreciate that. By the way, when are you coming to Miami, bro? You keep asking me that all the time, bro. I got too much to do to get to Miami, man. I went to Miami years ago, man. It just wasn't my scene. Though I'd like to try again because my Spanish has gotten better. But I see all of, listen, I live in a party city. So for me to go to Miami, what am I gaining from going back there again? You know what I mean? That's no diss to Miami. It's just Miami has changed, right? Miami's gotten to be, to me, a worse version of itself, especially rooted in modern day society, and especially what we see with modern women today, right? Like, what am I going to provide in Miami? Probably not much. We all have trials and tragedies. But I do want to go back to Florida, and I do want to get back to Miami. I do want to get back to Orlando. I do want to go back to these places. So I'm not dissing Miami like that, Ennis. I'm just saying on my priority scale, I have other places I have to get to first. We all have trials and tragedies. We all have our experiences, but it's how we handle those experiences. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, okay. I feel you. No. Exactly. I do want to get there, but again, I have a couple places to go. Hell, I need to see my son, man. So even that's a trip I have to make. But I have so much I'm trying to get done before I can even. I just got a lot of places to go. I have a lot of friends and family scattered over the country. So Miami would be a want, not a need. But I have a lot of need places that I need to get to. That makes sense? All right. So thank you guys for being here. Again, I'll see you guys next week. Look out for my video. Either I might have two videos, a video out tomorrow and a video out Friday. But if I don't, because one video is going to take a lot of editing. So if I don't, then it'll definitely be a video out Friday. Make sure you guys go support my friend Janine at valueyourvibes.com and designsbydestiny.com. She'll have something there for you, and you guys will enjoy it. So until next time, gents, live your best life.